What's up? Welcome to One Crack News. Carcino here. I wanted to point out something. I wanted to say rest in peace to certain people that may not understand what's going on, but General Colin Powell, who's the former Secretary of State for President George Bush Jr., he passes away at 84 years old from complications of having COVID-19. Um, People still sending me stuff. There's been many books written about this man. Um, he stepped down really and resigned positions because he first was the advisor back in the 87, 89, around that time. I think it was, then he moved, his title moved to chairman of the Joint Chief Staff. Then he went to Secretary of State. And when he was Secretary of State, you know, always was the one that was keen to detail and wasn't too fond of Vice President Dick Cheney. He stood up to Cheney only to be basically superseded by President George Bush Jr., who just said, well, we got to trust in what's going on here and follow his lead. The worst time in his life is when he went and got all the research and details, and nothing was showing weapons of mass destruction anywhere. And he couldn't understand what was actually happening here. Wasn't making sense to him. Now, when he advised Reagan back in '88, when he was National Security Advisor and the Joint Chief of Staff, he was basically promoted up. His views were not questioned. It was only when Dick Cheney arrived that all of this became a problem. So now, liberal internationalists, ambassadors of the United States of America, um, they put down and buried one of their own. But he stood up for what he believed in and said, I'm out. And that's the way he went. Now, he came out and called Darfur genocide. And when U.S. foreign policy came into play. People are sending me all kind of messages. Powell is critical of every other aspect in the game. Now, the Darfur genocide, that became the first cabinet member, whatever, with the whole term of genocide and everything else. Condoleezza Rice, and all of them, she was Powell's successor. And he told her, like, I'm going to resign because whenever the president doesn't respect my decision no more, I'm stepping down. Now, he had to lie for the first time in his life, and he did not like that. He was forced to go up there to give a speech saying that he had seen new evidence suggesting that Iran was adapting missiles for a nuclear delivery system. Knowing that the evidence they had was shaky. Well, people are going to be critical of Powell because of that. Don't be. The Senate of Governmental Affairs, that committee, after Saddam Hussein had lost his life, he was back in the international coalition. And when he testified there, he was stated that the weapons of mass destruction weren't there, that the information was wrong. It was unlikely that any stockpiles of weapons of mass destruction would be found. You know, he was basically making claims that he was unaware that some intelligence officials who questioned the information, you know, including the creation of the National Intelligence Director, would assure that what one person knew, everyone else knew. So they needed him to step down. He wasn't a team player. So rest in peace, General, because I know you wouldn't want to go down with that on your mind, your resume, everything else. So General Colin Powell.